Hey guys, it is the long awaited for Memoria Press haul video. So one of these boxes weighed 26 pounds and the other one I think was 15 pounds. So we've got 40 pounds worth of stuff here. Okay. So first of all, we have the Scarlet Letter. We have a sophomore next year and a freshman. And so before I start, I wanted to point out, as you can see, this is charter and public school edition. So I noticed this year that Memoria Press has a much more robust amount of offerings on its charter website, and I wanted to support that effort for them to make their materials available in a charter and public school edition. So I did purchase as many things as I could that I needed through the charter school website, to support that effort and show that there is a need for the charter school materials. And so if you're with the charter, you should be able to get these with your funds. So this is the student book. If you've seen my other video on the high school curriculum from Memoria Press, this should look familiar. So there's a big introduction, how to mark a book, and then for each chapter you have reading notes and you have definitions and comprehension questions. So this is how all of the student books work. So this goes to the student. All right, next. Here's the Scarlet Letter itself. Great classic if you haven't read it. I actually haven't read it, but it was one of the books that was an option for my AP English class. So I'm pretty familiar with the plot line. And eventually I would like to read it, obviously. And then we have first grade art cards. These are great. I have tried to do picture study with other curriculum providers before and it just did not work. I find these are very portable and work out great, and we've been doing the kindergarten ones this year. Next, we have The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, classic. I actually haven't read this with my kids, although I think my 3 older kids have read it independently, and we do have the whole set, but I wanted to just get this to go separately for my 4th grader. And we have The Door in the Wall. I believe this is for my 6th grader for next year. And then we have Big Honkin' Book of the Ancient Romans. This will be the classic studies for she will be in 10th grade next year. She's in 9th grade this year, so this will be for her classics. And it's by Dorothy Mills, which I believe is one of the founders. No, that's not right. She's not a founder of Memoria Press, I don't think. Oh, no, yeah. So she wrote books in the 1920s, and Memoria Press likes them. That's right. I was getting her confused with Cheryl Lowe. So, and then this is the student book for the ancient Romans. Same format I've shown in my other videos. Same format as all of the student guides. And then this goes with The Door in the Wall. So for my next year 7th grader. Okay. And then this is the teacher guide for The Door in the Wall. Just show you that real quick. So it just has all of the answers. Same format as the other grades. And then this is the Book of the Ancient Romans teacher guide. So, and these are all charter versions. I think normally it says charter version at the top, but these must just be the same. And so, in addition to using these to grade, you can also read through them to get an overview of stuff and what your student's going to be learning about. Then this is part of the 1st grade materials core curriculum. So Storytime Treasures. And the books are, as you can see, Little Bear, Frog and Toad are Friends, Caps for Sale, Make Way for Ducklings, and then optional Christmas lessons. So this is the teacher guide. So similar to, like, for example, First Form Latin, you have like, this is what the student page looks like in here versus for the literature guides where you have, oh, sorry, my dog heard a squirrel. The other student guides, you have just the things filled in. These are I don't know what the word is, picture in picture. This is the student guide, so this is the book that my first grader will be writing in. And I don't exactly know how this fits in with the first grade curriculum, but I know that it is part of the core curriculum. I'm looking forward to looking through the lesson plans because that's really key for me. Oh shoot, I ordered 2 copies of these. So something I discovered, wow, that really is unfortunate. Something I discovered recently is that the First Start Reading storybook is a separate reader from the First Start Reading guide. Let me just grab it real quick so I could show you. So this is like the activity book. I did not realize that there was 2 different things that you needed. And so I literally discovered this like 2 weeks ago. So you do the lessons in here, but you also have lessons in here. So obviously it's not ideal to discover this in week 23. I don't know what was going on. We did join a charter for 6 weeks. Maybe my brain stopped working. But I wanted to make sure I got these so that we were doing everything properly. So we are finished with this book. So I will have her, she should be able to read the book, the words that are in here quickly. It's very similar to like a Bob book or what have you. But this is made to go with their curriculum. So I will be happy to be finally following everything properly. And there's 4 of these books. Maybe I ordered D. I don't know what I ordered. I ordered this big order and then I went back and ordered some more things. So that's even a separate box that's coming. But anyway, these are part of the kindergarten and first grade phonics and reading curriculum. Caps for Sale. This is one of those storybook reader books. This is the only one I didn't have. We have Frog and Toad and Ducklings and Little Bear. That's that. And then we have, I hadn't ordered First Start Reading book C. So you can see these are the lessons and it really makes sense to have the storybook to go with it. So that's book C. We're not there yet. We're about to be on book B. Next we have second form Latin. My daughter's been taking a long time to make her way through first form Latin, probably because I'm giving her too many things to do. But I really want her to do second form Latin next year so that we can move forward. But I feel that it's really rigorous and good for her, so I don't really care that it's, technically you're supposed to be on Henley or Caesar. I feel like if you're spending the time and learning the Latin, then it doesn't matter to me personally which level it is. And so I got the desk charts. I really wanted the wall charts, but with the size of the room that we'll be using for school, we just don't have space. And then this is the student workbook. So I was really happy to find this on the charter site because I thought it was only going to be available on the regular site. Not that it matters. In my experience so far, there hasn't really been any Christian content in here, unlike Prima Latina, which I think is. And so you can see it's just very straightforward, regimented Latin and conjugating and review and drilling and all of that. So highly recommend, love this program, especially for older learners. I don't know about for younger ones. And then this was something I discovered in the catalog. So if you've seen, I don't know if I've posted on YouTube before, there's a second grade dictionary and it goes with their literature guide. So if you have someone that's looking up a word in, let's say, Little House, it only has the words that are in the readers. So I thought that was great and made it a lot easier for my older student. And I don't know which grades this covers, but I'm pretty sure it covers like the high school. I think it was listed in the high school section. So hopefully it will cover, maybe we could find a table of contents. No. Anyways, for the older kids. So then we have the second form Latin classical pronunciation, disc 1 and 2. And there's lots of interesting discussions on classical versus ecclesiastical pronunciation on the Facebook group if you're interested. Then I got the Latin recitation CD for car schooling. We used to do a different Latin program when my kids were younger, and I played that and I found it really helpful just as, occasionally pop that in there, get some car schooling done. I don't even know what level that goes with, but anyways, then we got Beowulf, which is one of the books that was scheduled for this year, but we just didn't get around to it. I got the whole set for her. And so like one of the things that I realized is that if I don't order everything at once, I just forget that I wanted to get it. And so same thing with this. This was, I think, supposed to be for this year, but we just didn't get to it. We're still working through Robin Hood, and we did do King Arthur, but I didn't order the guide in time, so he just read it. And so these will make your life much easier if you're doing grading of multiple students. I have 5 school-aged kids now. These are a lifesaver. And I'm going back to Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe. I'm really excited about this. I think it's going to take us a long time because my son is only going to be in 4th grade, but even if we have to spend however long it takes, I'm looking forward to, I'm not sure what the word is, but lingering in that. Okay, and then here's the teacher guide, same format. Okay, traditional logic. So this is something I'm really excited about to get, the charter and public school edition. I had a very thoughtful conversation with some of the Memoria Press other moms about the traditional logic program, because the examples that I had seen used were highly specific to Christianity. And so the conundrum was, well, do you use this very solid traditional logic program and just accept that these are the types of examples being used, which are proving formal logic? So, if it's raining, there are clouds, for example. I don't remember what the example was they said, but I was ready to settle for that because I really wanted my kids to have this solid logic foundation. So I'm just so overjoyed that so here's an example. Some men are accountants. No guns are allowed. I'm just so grateful for this because I feel it's really going to be helpful for future study and also just developing critical thinking skills. And so thank you, Memoria Press, so much for making this formal logic program in a charter version. I'm just overjoyed. And then here's the teacher guide, workbook, quizzes, and tests. And obviously this is like extremely in-depth classical curriculum. So I can't tell you how long this is going to take us. We don't tend to follow their pacing, but I feel that even if it takes longer, it's worth it. And then here's the student text. And by the way, Martin Cawthron is one of the hosts of their podcast, which is on YouTube and Apple Podcasts, if you're interested. So that's cool. He wrote this. And so this is similar to the other formatting things. You read the student book, and again, this is the charter version. Read the student book, then you answer in the student text. And just as an aside, one of the reasons that I personally find this interesting is the LSAT, which is the test for getting into law school. It's like the SAT, but completely different. One of the sections is logic games. And so if you had this foundation, then you would just totally be set. All right, so next is the Book of Crafts. This is also the charter and public school version, obviously, because we're still in that box. 1st grade. We haven't done too many of these this year, but I didn't order it when I first got our kindergarten stuff, and I definitely regretted it. So I wanted to make sure that I just got everything this year, and then after it came, I could decide what I didn't want to use, if that makes sense. And so it has these different crafts that I think it's usually for the art or the literature. And then there's these different templates for things in the back that are reproducible. So that's the little Book of Crafts, charter edition. I think I just said that twice, sorry. And then this is also a 1st grade component, but I've been having my younger son do it. He's older than his sister, but younger, because my kindergartner just is not doing extensive writing yet, and these quotes are pretty substantial. So just want to show you an example. So this is just handwriting, but see here you have these are, it's a lot for a 5 or 6 year old. So we'll see if we have her do it, if we have him do it, because he definitely also needs the handwriting practice with lowercase. And so if you look at the lesson plans this is from 1st grade, it will tell you, on day 1 do this, on day 2 discuss the meaning, on day 3 do that. So we'll see what happens with that. Next we have the Beowulf student guide. So this is again the different questions. And I guess it's in high school they shift to this smaller guide where you don't write inside of the book. So that's kind of an interesting change, I just realized. And then this is the teacher guide, which is full-sized. And so see, you have the pages inset in here. And I haven't come up with a good solution for how to have my student answer these questions. I think she's been doing it in a notebook. I think we will next year, since we're going to be following all of their literature, really have it in one location so that when we're going over things, it's easier. Okay, so here we have second form Latin flashcards. Latin, this is the charter version. Obviously, I don't know why I keep saying that, just because it says it on there. Then here's Adam of the Road, that's the book. I haven't seen this version before, so that's interesting. For my next year will be 7th grader. And then we will be continuing with poetry and prose. And I don't remember if there's 3 levels or 2, but it's, oh my gosh, I totally forgot the word. Consecutive. So we have 1485 to 1784. The one that we're doing this year, I don't remember what year it is, but it's different than this one. And so this is the student guide. Is this? Yeah, this is the book. So this is what she reads, or she will read, and it's got different poems. And so I thought that this was good to, continue. She's doing the book 1 this year, the set, and I felt that it's good to have these different things that build upon each other so that you're having a deeper knowledge of things. And obviously this is part of the classics part of Memoria Press. So this is the student book. Again, we have the smaller version, and this is, so it matches up to whichever reading passage. And I have the 10th grade lesson plans for literature, so hopefully it will tell her which thing to do on which day. And I'm considering not doing an additional English curriculum like we did this year, because I feel like all of these literature things have their own writing assignments, like short essay, long essay, comprehension questions. So I feel like it's going to be robust enough, but I do reserve the right to change my mind, obviously. But I'm going to try going with that and having less, being less spread less thinly. We will also do some other books, but I think we'll just do books rather than books and curriculum, if that makes sense. So this is the enrichment lesson plans for 1st grade. And so basically the way this works is like you start the day. Let's go to week 1, for example. Actually, let me see if there's the checklist in here. No. Okay. So these are like teaching tips, and then these different, oh, that's cool. Like they have I don't know if you can see that, they have the Handbook of Nature Study listed. That's cool. I own that book and I have never used it, but I still do own it. And so there's an overview of the different types of art for those art cards, like I told you. So this is how this is laid out. So basically you start the day. Visitor for Bear is the book of the day, the read aloud books. So there's read aloud books and then enrichment books. And then there's all sorts of discussion, questions, vocabulary. And then the next day, I think, you have your history and culture. So extensive discussion. And then here, this is how it shows you which art piece you're doing for the week. And it gives you background about the artist. Then there's music section. And then let me see, there's a spot for teacher notes. And I'm not seeing where the science books are, history and science, but that might be in the core book. So we'll keep looking for that. Then we have the second form Latin teacher key. So, you know, matches up with the student book. Then we have second form Latin quizzes and tests, and I believe they send you the digital copy of the quizzes and tests for everything, which makes it easier to print out versus having to copy it for your student or whatever. And then, because I think the quizzes and tests, it has the answers in here. I don't remember. Anyway, whatever. I don't know what I'm talking about. This is the teacher manual. And so there's teaching tips all over the place. Extensive support. I love it. And then finally, we're at the Scarlet Letter teacher guide. So that's that box. Let me try to quickly shove everything back in here, although it will not be as organized as they had it. So that's everything I got from the charter site this time. And then, like I said, I got, let me take out this readers storybook A, B, because I'll be needing those this week. I did order, I don't even know what, but I ordered the other storybooks, and I think the storybook guide thing last week, so that's coming next week. I don't know what's in it, but I'll let you know. It's like 3 items. I know, I'm being dramatic. Okay, next. Ugh. Okay. And so if you want to see like what you're supposed to get for each grade, I recommend getting their catalog because it's easier to visualize, and then you can look at individual components afterwards. That's what I do, and decide, you know, which things you want to teach versus what's included and stuff like that. Okay, so we have in here, oh look, they sent me the cutest little bookmark. That's so cute. And then there's another catalog. This is the current one. In case you don't have it, that's what it looks like. And then I'll show you real quick what I was talking about. So like here, look at, here's 10th grade. So you're supposed to get this 10th grade literature set, though we did Pride and Prejudice this year, so we won't do it next year. And then Caesar is the Latin that they have, and then Greek tragedies. And see, this is from last year, but we're doing it this year. And then their math. Classical composition, we don't do that. Chemistry, this is a Christian science, so we won't be doing that. But here's what we're doing this year, modern biology. And then, so this is in 9th grade, but we're doing this for 10th grade. And then you move on to material logic. And then they have Renaissance and Reformation times in 9th grade and history of medieval Europe in 10th grade. So, and then so this is what the catalog looks like. So that's why I recommend it as a starting point. Okay, so everything in here, I'm pretty sure I could not get on the charter site. So that's why I ordered it from here. So starting off, thing I'm so excited about next year, this is one of their brand new offerings, a classical history of art. So this is for the high school level. I'm pretty sure they just came out with this, and I'm really excited for she'll be in 10th grade to have this, my 10th grader. I will likely have my other daughter do this because I just feel like it's such an important topic, and I haven't necessarily done the best job of being consistent with art study. So I'm very excited about that. I think I bought the bundle that includes streaming lessons. I'm not sure. I'd have to look at my receipts and things, but I know that I'm pretty sure there's video lessons that go with this. Anyway, and there's more components later in this box, I'm sure. So my rising 9th grader will be doing First Start French. She doesn't want anything to do with Latin, and she did offer to do Greek, but it just seemed like a lot to manage. She's already been doing French on Duolingo, and I just really like the way that their first form materials are structured. So I thought, okay, how about we just do this? And this also, I think, has like an audio component. I don't know what format it's in, or if I bought a disc, or I don't know what I got. But anyways, the teacher manual. And then we have Geography 2. This will be for my 7th grader. I just love their geography. If you haven't seen it, it's just amazing. I've not seen anything like it from any other providers. We have had other providers that have certain levels that have geography and maps, but they have, 3 years of this plus the states and capitals. So 4 years, just very good quality, very zoomed in, detailed. And then here's the student workbook. So you have to fill in the parts of the map and you have to answer these questions. So you're getting geographical, but also some economic and political and socioeconomic information. So I really like that. And then here's the teacher guide. And my kids have liked it because it's very straightforward. Go label this map, go do that. And then this will be for my same student who's going to be doing Geography 2. This is review. He's doing Geography 1 this year. So this will be the beginning of the year. Just, go label France, Switzerland, Austria, and Germany. Like it. And then this is the review teacher key quizzes and tests. That's good. And then the states and capitals, we already have the teacher guide and the book and everything from when we did it before. So this is going to be for my 4th grader. I think this is listed as 3rd grade, but we just haven't gotten around to it until 4th grade. So that's what that's for. And then my 10th grader will be doing Midsummer Night's Dream. So I got that set, which comes with the teacher guide and the student guide in the book. And then here's more of the classical history of art. And so this is just, exactly the type of program that I didn't even know I wanted. Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. So this one is listed in a couple of different places for high school curriculum, and I was like, what is this? This is kind of weird, this old book. So I Googled it and I read the Wikipedia entry and I was like, okay, this sounds interesting. And so I think they have this scheduled in 9th grade, but we didn't get to it this year because we had too many other things going on. So that will be a 10th grade thing. And then she'll also be doing Romeo and Juliet. My 10th grader, so Midsummer Night's Dream, Romeo and Juliet. This is random, but one of the Waldorf things that they do in 9th grade is they have you do a comedy and a tragedy, and so I'm kind of following that strategy, even though this is 10th grade. And also I really want her to watch the Leonardo DiCaprio and Claire Danes version of that movie because I think she'd like it. Jane Eyre, we're subbing in for Pride and Prejudice. This was one of the first books I read as an adult for mentoring through the classics with Thomas Jefferson Education, and I thought it was really interesting, and also she wanted to read it, so that's why we're doing that instead of Pride and Prejudice. Then Book of the Ancient Greek Student Guide, my 9th grader will be doing this. We already have all of the materials, so I just needed the student guide. And then we have, these are just the books, so here's Romeo and Juliet. Oh, this is the student guide. Just kidding. Romeo and Juliet. Then we have Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, student guide. And then we have Midsummer Night's Dream, student guide. Again, they're all the same format. And then this is the Midsummer Night's Dream, which is the play itself. And then, oops, I'm about to drop everything on the floor. And then also I think I got the Romeo and Juliet guide or something from the library, so that'll be a help. And then here's Jane Eyre, which is why probably this is not a great book for 9th grade. So 10th grade, she will have her work cut out for her. And then History of Europe and the Modern World. So we're doing volume 1 of this year, and I just like this book. I like the curriculum, so I decided to go ahead and get volume 2. I'm not sure if we're going to do this over the summer or over next year, because I think I've shared with you guys that I was a little bit worried about not getting enough world history in, but she did do 2 or 3 years of world history in middle school, so It's not like we haven't covered it, and she likes it. So we'll continue with that. Sorry for that background noise. My kiddo was getting a snack. So anyway, I'm not sure what we'll do with this, but it's possibly going to be all next year. And then, that goes really well with the Elizabethan poetry stuff, then British poetry. Then these are the art cards for the classical history of art, which are similar to the first grade art cards, but like the big kid version. And so there's that. And then we have the Jane Eyre student book, which is like all the questions. And then Sir Gawain and the Green Knight book. Now, and there we go. First Start French. So here's the audio for that part of the program, or that program that we're doing. And then we have Romeo and Juliet. So that is our big giant Memoria Press order for next year. You may have noticed it's mostly for my 10th grader, with the occasional things for my soon to be 7th grader and 9th grader. They are doing different things. Every child is different, and so I plan things differently accordingly to their learning style and what works best for them. But we will be doing their first grade curriculum completely. So I didn't order those read aloud books or the science and social studies books because I like to buy those one at a time. And I just realized I don't think I got the lesson plans for first grade. So I'm going to have to go back and get that. That's kind of surprising. So that's frustrating. The one thing I didn't get was the first grade lesson plans. Anyway, so I'm mostly doing Memoria Press for my oldest and my youngest, and then the occasional for everyone in between. So that is what these materials reflect, and I hope that you guys liked getting to see the materials we ordered, and thank you for watching and supporting my channel. If you want to see more content on how we use Memoria Press in a secular way, or our eclectic way of homeschooling everybody, please subscribe, and thanks for stopping by.